Good morning. Hi, Anna. How are you doing? It's so good to be back. We've missed a couple of sessions. We've had different things going on. So how are you today? And how is everyone who's online or watching the replay? How are you,
Good
Anna?
morning. Good morning, Karen, and good morning, everybody, or evening to those who listening later on from around the world. I'm so happy to see you again today, Karen. We're both well and happy, and I love the scarf every time you put on. I know the story behind that, and I really I think it looks really good on you.
Thank you. So special. It has special meaning for me too.
Yeah.
Because my mum, my beloved mum gave it to me. So, Anna, today we're going to be covering supportive and empowering beliefs for people to live an extraordinary life, because what seems to happen with us is that we're patterned in a way that we tend to think about negative beliefs. We talked about last time negative beliefs, disempowering beliefs, negative decisions, and all those sorts of things that we tend to be biased towards. And so it's actually really important to understand that the human race is biased towards the negative because of all of our beliefs and ways of doing things. And so it's important to understand to counter that on purpose and change your frequency and the energy and therefore your experience of life by doing that. So we're going to talk about the positive today. We're going to talk about changing to supportive and empowering beliefs. But, first I would like to tell you a story to give you an example of how impactful our unconscious and our beliefs are. And it's a story about that was told to me by my master coach, about a well-respected plastic surgeon in America. My master coach is American, wonderful, wonderful woman. And I'm going to tell the story that she told us about a well-respected plastic surgeon. I'm going to read it to you. So I look like I'm reading, sound like I'm reading, I am. So this is what the plastic surgeon said. In my practice as a plastic surgeon, I have often met people whose self-evaluations were grossly inaccurate. One patient comes to mind, a timid teenager. He is, quote, unquote, his quote, unquote, truth about himself was that he was weak, that he had a receding chin, and that he was weak, and that he was in for a life of misery because of both those things. Once you make a decision about yourself like that, it's impactful. And so there's a belief, there's a limiting decision and a limiting belief around that for that teenager. So the man said when he first came to my office, he was 18, ready for college, but he didn't want to go. He felt he was worthless. His high school, in America they call it high school, here we actually call it college, and we call college university. So he was ready for university. His high school record had been poor, so his college record had been poor. He had listlessly made his way through many boring years. He had taken part in no physical activities. He had no real friends. He kept to himself. And he basically died inside. Very sad. He said, why should going to college be any better? And I was his last hope. Could I do anything with this chin with which fate had saddled him? Something was wrong with his self-image, the plastic surgeon said. I saw quickly, for although his chin was not classically perfect, it was no different from millions of other chins. There are millions and millions of people with this kind of chin, and surely these other millions of people did not give such a mild imperfection even a second thought. But this young man was obsessed with it. The recession in his chin was too mild even to require plastic surgery. So instead, I talked to him about it. I asked him when he made the decision and then why he associated it with weakness. After seeing him several times, I got the full story. When he was 10, he had overheard his parents talking about him when they thought he was asleep. The dad said, "I wonder who he takes after. He hasn't got the family chin. Isn't that odd?" And the young boy looked at himself in the mirror the next day. He had never noticed his chin before, but now it looked terrible to him. How could he have overlooked the way it receded? He went to the family album and he looked at the pictures of the family, the uncles, the grandfather, cousins, strong faces, especially the men, he thought. Not one with a receding chin. I'm the only one, unfortunately, who has a receding chin. Now, it's sad that he did not tell his parents. He had overheard them, and he did not seek help for his torment at the age of 10 concerning himself. So he made himself an outcast. He kept his concept of his weak chin to himself and his own personal sorrow. He grew into adolescence. His sensitivity about his chin grew and grew. He was afraid to show his profile to people, so he would always face them directly. And that got him into ridiculous situations in which he would constantly move about to prevent the offending profile from showing side on. And people began to notice how nervous he was and laughed at his eccentricity. Finally, he told his parents how bitter he was about his chin at the age of 18, and they took him to see me, said the plastic surgeon. Luckily, I was able to help him. I told him that objectively his chin was not a bad one at all, that his truth about himself was pure fiction. Not only that, I told him that he was no weakling and he had to realize that he was as good as anyone else. The surgeon said, I enlisted the help of his parents. His father had, of course, long since forgotten that he had ever made the remark, and he had made it casually and innocently at the time. They both assured him that he was fine looking. He was a fine-looking young man, and that his chin was not a typical family chin, but it was reasonably normal. Naturally, a concept which one has held for oneself will not go away in a day. That's important for us all. A concept or a belief which one has held for oneself will not go away in a day. If you've had a concept or a belief about yourself that has a negative connotation or contractive connotation to it, or when you bump into one, and they're there for all of us, when we bump into one, you don't just snap your fingers and then it's gone. You have to repattern it because it exists as an experience and because of patterned thinking over time. You know, it's like things like we might come up with one like, oh, my hair is so fine. It looks awful. I look awful. Or I don't have a good body shape. Or my shoulders aren't big enough, wide enough if you're a guy. Or my butt is too big or too small or something. Right?
Yeah.
Not only that, I told him, well, here we go. Naturally, a concept doesn't go away in a day or two, the surgeon told him. But after several weeks with his parents helping him to see the real truth, he began to feel more at peace with himself. Slowly, his truth about himself changed. And he went to college, which is university for us, And along with raising his self-esteem, he became a wonderful student. He majored in languages. He became a successful writer. He got married. He had children. And today, he doesn't waste any of his time worrying about an absurd, untruthful belief. So I'd love to know your feedback on that story, Anna, and then we can carry on and maybe unpack this a bit more.
I can relate to that story so easily, and I believe that happened to a lot of women in Asian country. Like we were grown up told, we are told about our appearance a lot. Like you've got to keep your skin fair, protect yourself. So if you go travel to an Asian country, you will see girls covering ourselves a lot when we go outside. We don't allow any part of our body to see the sun, because the concept of beauty in my country, which is Vietnam, is that women should have fair skin, like white looking, and like spotless, like just have to be really smooth, nothing. So they pay attention to that little details. And the nose had to be in a certain shape, the eyes have to be in a certain shape, and it's been remarked on every single day. And it had really impact on people without them knowing. And if you were told since you were a little girl, like I grew up, a lot of people telling me, whiten up your skin, do something with your skin, you look too dark. And I felt, oh, I don't match the norm. Like nothing I can do to brighten up my skin. That's the way I was born. And so it really affect my confidence in the way I look, or the way the face is shaped in a certain way. And like once I'm not sure if I told you the story. I graduated, and with it during the time when I wait to get a proper job, I have to find something to feed myself, right? So I walked past a restaurant and they put a sign up saying needing people to be the server. So I stepped into that room. I wasn't a graduated student, right? And ready for something to work for a company or something. But then I said I'll lower myself. I accept that for a number of months. But when I asked the lady who recruiting people, and she said, "You look at yourself. Look at yourself. How dare you thinking you can get this job? We need better looking girls." So it was straight to my face saying that. It impacted me badly. I walked away thinking she didn't have to be so harsh. But it gave me a decision. I would never look for that kind of job ever again. Like I would never go for that job ever again, because it's impacted me in the way that I lost confidence totally about the look for a certain job.
Wow.
And later on, it impacted me in the way that other type of job that look for looks, then I won't go there. Yeah, so it does. And now, when I met my husband, he turned it around, but I didn't believe him at first when we met. And he has totally different system of beauty. The way he looked at beauty totally different to the way that we were looked inside the country. And so he keeps saying, "You're beautiful," and I didn't believe him. I have to find evidence to prove to him that you need to learn how to judge beauty in women. Look at this. This is the criteria of a beautiful ladies. Okay, I have to prove him wrong. Yeah, to that point. And then he said, "I don't care what you're thinking, but to me, you're beautiful, and I love you the way you are." And that takes a long time for me to start to believe in that. Now, looking back with the new belief, I thought I should have changed quicker. I should have believed him quicker, because the supportive belief is better. Believe that you're beautiful, believe that you're good enough, believe that you can be whoever you are, the way you are, and you can do what you want is much better belief. But somehow, like you keep saying, we're wired to believe in the negativity. And so we prove ourselves right. We have the tendency to prove our beliefs are right. And so we hesitant to like I myself, I hesitant to adopt the belief that is supportive or more empowering to me. It took me so long for me to take his belief to be my belief.
Yeah, that's so true. And it's not only in Vietnam, it's in the Philippines, it's in most of the Asian countries have that belief around how a beautiful woman looks. And I know, because I know they have this, they know about glutathione, which is something they used to try and whiten their skin. So I found out that's how a lot of people in the Asian countries are brought up, that they should look. And as you say, what happens is, here's the thing, is we compare ourselves to other people. That comparison thing is such a negative thing to do, and yet we do it all the time. And what I would say to you is, comparison is one of the least productive things that we can do. Every person on earth in some way is going to be inferior to another person, okay? But if you want to stack evidence against yourself, and the evidence is often based on false premises, this is what we do. This is what we do by default. This is a psychological practice. We call it stacking. Now, there's negative stacking and there's positive stacking. So I want to suggest to us all that we learn about this and try the positive stacking to counter the negative stacking that is there by default. So let's talk about it. Negative stacking is remembering everything you ever didn't do according to you or someone else, imagining, remembering, rehearses in nursing, or everything that's wrong with you to do with your looks or whatever it is that you have an issue with. And what we do is we stack and we find proof and evidence and rehearse and think and all of the proof around why that belief is correct, that negative belief is correct. Every little thing about us that we don't think is attractive, we will just stack these things, and then we rehearse them and re-rehearse them, and then we wonder why we can't have the thing that we say we would really love, which may be peace, it may be being good at something. We think because of how we look, we can't be good at something. And yet, the law of receiving dictates that we can only receive what we are, and we can only receive what we're a match for. So one of the most potent ways for us to open up to the things in life that we would really love and that we would really love to have our name on is to build that self-image that is a match to be the receiver, the person receiving all of that you desire. And we deserve this. Every one of us deserves this. The very fact that we deserve it, that we could even dream it up.
So many good points in what you just shared. If it is the law, it must be right. At some point, it's been drawn out by previous successor, previous teachers, or many previous knowledge and the wisdom of human existence. And they say you have to match the level of success that you want to achieve. And I totally see that as in, I was once told, the world has everything already for you to reach out and touch it.
Yeah.
You don't have to even recreate anything. The world has everything available for you. But it is you who choose what you want to achieve, and you raise yourself to that level and achieve it. And that is so powerful, so powerful. You just need to raise yourself so that you sit with the right people. You learn the right knowledge, the correct knowledge that take us to the space that we want to be. And like in my situation, I used to compensate the lack of whatever, the lack of look, the lack of this and that by stacking skill set. For example, I thought, oh, I compensate for that. If people don't value me by the look, then they will value me by the skill. You know, I will have a lot of skill to add to a workspace or to the environment or to the family or in a relationship. So I stack the skill set, and that also take a lot of effort, and in a way it can be out of balance because I feel like I can never stack enough to feel more valuable in a relationship with somebody. And then to the point, like a couple of years ago, I realized the real thing that I need to stack is the mindset. 80% of success is from the mindset, from the way you think, rather than the skill set. The skill set is important, but it's count for like less than 20% of your success. And I said, oh my God, I spent 25 years stacking skill set. So I accumulate so many degrees and skills and certificates. But my mindset was still mindset of an inferior, you know, mindset of an underdog, the mindset of someone who is lacking. Yeah. So now I turn around. I say, correct knowledge is spend 80% of your time focus on 20, you know, like on the mindset that bring home 80% of success. When I spend 100% on the skill set, which count for only about 20% of my success. So that was a massive lesson for me. I love this that you brought that out of me. Thank you.
Yes, and I do want to say that to me, you are beautiful, Anna. Okay.
Thank
very
you.
Beautiful.
Very kind
beautiful.
Of you.
I could never imagine why you would think that you weren't. So, but I want to bring up, and I want to come in on what you said about inferior. You felt inferior. Inferiority and superiority are merely opposite sides of the same coin. And the cure lies in simply understanding that the coin itself, whether it's I'm better than, or I'm worse than, or I'm not as good as, the coin itself is counterfeit. It comes out of comparing. Okay?
I'm writing down some good point that you
The coin
mentioned.
is counterfeit. So it's wrong to throw ourselves to be either inferior or superior. The very fact that you desire something different or that you could even dream it up, something that you would love, it's not a power that you have on your own. It's a power given to you, and it comes from love itself. So negative stacking contributes to confusion and deterioration of our self-image and our self-love. So I want to tell you a little. One of the things I love, which is Einstein, and his theory of relativity, and explain it to you. So what Einstein said with this theory of relativity is that everything is relative. It's all about perspective. These beliefs are all about our perspective and our view on life. So what Einstein said is everything is relative. With his theory of relativity, he discovered that you could walk outside on a calm day and look up at the sky, and you would swear that we were standing still. And yet it's been proven that the Earth is rotating or moving around the sun at 1,000 miles an hour.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's fast, but we don't feel it.
And yet on a still day, we can stand outside and look up at the sky, and we have a sense that we are not moving at all. Right? Perception is our position in space, time, and it is tied to the direction we are moving. We are on a planet that is hurtling around the sun at 1,000 miles an hour. So what happens is this skews our perception, no matter how does that matter to you and I today? Because I can use that concept to create an open space in my mind in regards to the perception or way that other people see reality and that we see reality. Other
Perspective.
people's world. Yeah. Other people's
so we
world.
change the way we think, the thing we see.
Exactly.
We change the way we see. The thing we see change.
Exactly. Other people's world, and to challenge beliefs. Beliefs are not real. Reality, as I see it, and I know my reality is different to your reality, and my reality is simply what we've stacked and collected through our beliefs, through other people, through the government, through everything that's in our lives. But beliefs are not real. We have created them based on all of those things, our experiences, what other people have said, what our family said when we were growing up, like that young boy. Beliefs are not real. They are not truth. And when we understand that, and we also know that I have a different belief than you, then I can stand back and say, one, we can both be correct. We can have different beliefs and we can both be correct. But secondly, our own internal beliefs can be right or wrong. They don't have to be right. We can change them. If they're not serving us, to do well, to be a better person, to love ourselves as is right, as a wonderful human beings who we are, we can change them. In fact, we need to change them. We must change them, because if they're not serving us to move forward and have that life we love, then we want to change them to be empowering and supportive beliefs on who we are, how wonderful we are, what wonderful beings we are, both human and spiritual.
That's powerful, Karen. This is really powerful. Even for those who believe that beliefs are real and true, and even for those who believe so, belief can change, even if they're true, even if they are real.
If we
can
think
change.
they are real,
We can change them.
Yeah, they're not real. They're just beliefs. They're a collection of thoughts that we've thought over and over and over, and we think now it's a belief that it's real.
Yeah.
And society.
But even if there's some people out there who believe that beliefs are real, we know they're not real. But some people still think they're real. They're real to me. And they fight. They do anything to protect that. And even for that, we say, even if they're real, we can change them. We can choose to change in order to support ourselves, to move toward the goals that we deserve to have, towards the quality of life that we deserve to have, to achieve. So This is so wonderful. Time really flies when we have our meaningful conversation. I would love to see you in person. We might spend the whole day talking and learning.
We could easily talk for a whole day, couldn't we?
Yeah.
So
I'm going to Sydney. In July. So I hope you'll be there in July. So I might see you in person. Oh, you're in Brisbane. Sorry.
I might be able to. I'm looking at going in June or July. So maybe if you give me the dates, we can match up.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I think it is the week from the 8th to the 8 or 9 to the 13th.
Right. Can you message me it later?
Of July. I'll message you. But I would love to see you in person. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so let's give people. I like to give people some ways to recreate their beliefs. And one of the ways that I would suggest, and then you might have some ways, Anna, is let's sit quiet for a minute and let's think about something that you may have that you think is not nice, not it's not what you would choose, something that's perhaps holding you back. Perhaps something that's holding you back. And
My English is still not good enough. For example, that is one of the biggest one that hold me back for years. I am getting better. However, it's still a lingering
okay,
negative beliefs in the back of my mind whenever it comes to expressing
yeah,
myself in the second language.
that's perfect, because it doesn't have to be a physical appearance. It can be something like that. So this is what I want to suggest that people do. You say, you just pause and you say, every way, everything about me has gotten me to this moment, this now moment. I am sitting in the theatre of the mind. I am sitting in the theatre of the mind. I am the producer. I am the writer. I am the director. I am the star. And I get to choose what role I am playing. And you begin to imagine yourself playing the role of the person who's living the life you love, living feeling good in your own skin. In fact, feeling better and better and better with every passing day. And you start saying that to yourself. I am feeling better and better and better every day. Feeling better and better about myself with each passing day. And even though you might not be, even that particular thing, like for you, Anna, your English, even though you're feeling right now that there's a part of you that's saying, oh no, that's not true, I'm still not good enough in English, that part is not going to go away just with the snap of your fingers, like we said with the plastic surgeon.
I want it to go away in a snap of a finger. I am excellent. I can communicate. I can get people to understand me through my body language, through, I wanted to make it a snap of a fingers. I decided to change that for good.
And you keep
However,
saying it
the message
anyway.
you just said is really wonderful. Can you please copy that in the message somehow?
Sure.
I think that's a really wonderful affirmation. I would love to have to practice that daily too. Yeah.
So what happens is you keep saying it anyway. You keep saying it anyway. You keep saying it. And over time, there's a response in you to that, because you have now patterned it in the subconscious, which is where the image of yourself as not enough in some way has been fed over time with simple little thinking or responses that you've made unconsciously, not noticing. You formed something that is not even true. So you did create yourself this wonderful presence. You didn't create yourself. This wonderful presence of power created each one of us. So let me put that in the chat for anyone who watches it. I don't know if they see the chat if they watch the replay, but I will put it in. There's two parts. Every way, everything about me has gotten me to this moment. Is that part you wanted? Now I'm sitting in the theatre of the mind. I'm sitting in the theatre of the mind. I am the producer, the writer, the director. Is that the part you wanted? I am the star and I get to choose what role I'm playing. That's
can put it in the chat or in the comments when this go live.
Maybe I'll put it on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'll do it on the LinkedIn post, because then it will come out. I know it will come out.
It's really valuable. I appreciate that. Amazing.
Yeah. I'll put it all in, form something that is not even true. Okay, so on that note, I think we've given people, is there anything else you want to give our listeners before we go, Anna?
Oh, I just love this powerful talk, and you brought out in me the awareness of that belief, that negative belief about my capacity, and with the awareness, I can change, I can choose, right? And I appreciate that a lot. Like I really want to change it right now, change, and because I want to grow, I want to be enough. I want to be enough in order to serve more people. Because if I'm thinking of lacking, then I will only think about myself. I wanted to. The more you serve, the more you grow. oh, that link back to the saying that I listened on the audio this morning that say, you don't have to be great to serve, but you have to serve others to become great.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
beautiful. I love that.
So lovely.
So maybe
Thank
you can
you.
put that on the LinkedIn as well when we get off here.
Will do. Thank you.
So, oh, Michelle's on here. Hi, Michelle. Thank you very much. She said, very powerful message. So true. Maybe not change, instead replace it with an enhanced option for us to have joyful experiences and memories in our life. Love this discussion, ladies. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for coming on. So yeah, Anna, I want you to know you're beautiful to me.
Thank you.
I'm sure to many people. And your English is fantastic. I can understand everything you say, and you say it well. So,
thank you so much.
those things you can repattern in your mind and start telling yourself that those things, and changing your beliefs and having supportive beliefs, as you say. Thank you for today. It's wonderful.
Thank you for today too, Karen. See you again in 2 weeks.
Yes, thank you, Anna. Thanks, Michelle.
See you all. Bye-bye.
And anyone else who watches the replay. Bye.